Welcome to another FafNir guide. Today's guide is about Kashtira. This is the new updated version of Kashtira guide that I've made before. Since they banned Diablosis and Kashtira got all of its support cards, this guide no longer viable to watch. It's an Xyz-based deck that I think it defines the format where people have to bring a specific removal cards for them, even though it's easy to break them with it, but it's still affecting the meta, where they have to think twice when building their deck. A lot of people hate playing this deck because it's so easy to break them. The funny things, it makes people have no faith on Kashtira and decide to turn the deck into a going second version. If you have no faith on the deck you had, it's better to dismantle them and build another deck that suits you. Well, at least keep FafNir, Fenrir. That card is too good to be dismantled. If you are new to Xyz summoning and Xyz monster, you can watch this Pearly guide at the exact timestamps where I explain the mechanic of Xyz summoning. Since I did explain the old Kashtira card in the outdated guide, here's the quick recap of it. 3 level 7 Kashtira can special summon themselves if the monster field is empty, and it's not once per turn. 3 of them have ignition effects. Fenrir can add 1 Kashtira monster. Unicorn can add 1 Kashtira spell. Ogre can add 1 Kashtira trap. 3 of them have trigger effects if opponent's monster activate its effect, or if they declaring an attack. Fenrir can banish 1 face-up card on field. Unicorn can banish 1 card from extra deck. And Ogre can excavate 5 cards from opponent's deck and banish 1 of them. All of them will be banished face down. That will trigger Kashtira Shangri era. Every time a card is banished, you can lock 1 zone on the field. Every standby phase, you can special summon 1 Kashtira monster from deck. If this card about to be destroyed, you detach 1 material instead. Kashtira Ariseheart can special summon itself if you control a Kashtira on field. Once after its summon, it can banish 1 Kashtira card from deck. Fenrir Birth can special summon any Kashtira from banish or graveyard. While on the field, you can normal summon your level 7 monster on hand without tributing. Keep in mind that this is not a special summon. It requires your normal summon token to do that. That's all you need to know about them. Now the new released support cards, let's start from the most important one. It's better you don't miss this part. Kashtira Ariseheart, the boss monster that everyone's been waiting for. Once per turn, you can Xyz summon this card using 1 Kashtira monster you control if a Shangri era activate its effect this turn. This including opponent's Shangri era. I will explain more in the tips and tricks. While face up on the field, any cards that send to graveyard are banished face up instead, just like Dimension Shifter or Macrocosmos. Once per chain, every time a card is banished, either face up or down, it can attach 1 banished cards from either fields. It also able to attach any face down banished cards. This is a mandatory effects. Because of that, it's the reason people are preferred to bring Thrust and Talent in their deck list. Once per turn, detach 3 materials and target 1 card on the field, banish them face down. Since Kashtira Ariseheart's still present, the detaching materials will also banished, and it will trigger those new Kashtira spell and trap card if you detach them instead. The newest Kashtira spell and traps. Kashtira Big Bang. If this card is banished face up, you can target 1 Kashtira Xyz monster you control, return 1 attached Kashtira monster in it to hand, and you can special summon it back to field. If you set it on the field, if a Kashtira Xyz monster present on the field, you can make both player banish their monster until both player only control 1 monster. Kashtira Theosis. Activate this card and target 1 Kashtira monster you control. You can special summon 1 Kashtira monster from deck in defense position with a different attribute than the targeted one. If this card is banished face up, you can target 1 Kashtira card except Theosis that are banished face up and return it to your hand. Kashtira Overlap. If this card is banished face up while you control a Kashtira monster, you can target 1 effects monster on the field, negate its effect this turn. I actually didn't use it because it's a brick on hand, but it can be used for going second to negate a monster. Simply banish it with Ariseheart. Pressured Cooking. Planet. This is a field spell. On activation, you can add one Kashtira monster from deck to hand. Once per turn, if your Shangri era activate its effect, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. The two hybrid Kashtira, Scareclaw Kashtira and Tearlament Kashtira. You can special summon this card and then banish any Kashtira card from hand or graveyard. We gonna call them hybrids. Scare Cash can attack while in defense position, and applying its defense points as the attack number. Whenever a Kashtira battled any opponent's monster, it will render that monster negated until the end of turn. It's good when going second, and render one monster negated for the whole turn. Tear Cash on summon can mill 3 cards from your deck or opponent's deck. If Kashtira Ariseheart is present, the mill becomes banished face up. That's all for it. Here's the deck list that I currently use. This deck list managed to bring me to Master 3 and Dlv Max in recent Duelist Cup. You can check the replay on the top right corner there. But for the purpose of the guide, I'm gonna use this list. It's actually the same, but with an extra cards. So people don't have to complain or ask, why am I bringing this card or that card? I remind you again that this is for the guide purpose only. It's just for showing you a choice that some other combo exists if you put some more specific card to the list. And I only do the combo using the cards that I've shown at the beginning. So please don't look at my other cards on my hand that I didn't mention. Without further ado, let's jump into the combo section. Since Diablosis is banned, Kashtira is kinda underpowered in the zone locking specialty. So in this combo, I'm gonna tend to sacrifice my Shangri era to get a better end board and make sure Ariseheart is present and online on the field. Basic 1-card combo. This is the origin of all Kashtira combo in this guide. Once you memorize and master this combo, it will be easier to do other advanced combo that comes from it. 1-card Unicorn or Planet. If you have Planet, activate and add Unicorn. Special summon Unicorn and add Theosis. Theosis and summon Fenrir from deck and add Ariseheart. Xe summon both to Shangri era and special summon Ariseheart. Banish Big Bang. There will be 2 trigger effects happening. Activate both of them, lock a zone. It's preferable to lock a monster zone and also target your Kashtira Xyz on field. Detach and return any Kashtira from it. Xyz both to another Shangri era, and then Xyz overlay that second Shangri era to Ariseheart. With these you will have 3 materials Ariseheart, which will make it online on opponent's turn. You can also just Xyz summon Ariseheart with just 1 Ariseheart, but then Ariseheart will go offline and can't activate its quick effects, because it only have 1 material. Based on my experience in Duelist Cup, it's very risky to leave your Ariseheart offline like that. One of the reasons is you can make this kind of cheap play on opponent's turn. Whenever your opponents manage to remove your Ariseheart, you can chain Ariseheart banishing its material, including the attached Big Bang. After Ariseheart leave, Big Bang will activate and detach Fenrir from Shangri era and special summon it. With these, you will have an extra disruption. As I said before, have some faith on your deck before you click that surrender button. If you notice, we haven't normal summon at all. With these, it allow Kashtira to bring Pathfinder to their deck as their consistency booster. 1-card Pathfinder. Normal summon Pathfinder, tribute it and add Planet Field spell, activate it and add Unicorn. At this point, you can just do the same 1-card Unicorn combo like before. But do keep in mind, using Pathfinder as your starters means you are using your normal summon that turn. But some of the 2 cards and 3 cards combo are using their normal summon. So at the beginning of every combo that I will show, there will be a reminder icon of either these 2. The left one means that this combo can be done with Pathfinder, and the right one is not. 2 cards combo. Unicorn plus Birth or Theosis. This combo start like the previous 1-card combo. At this point, you will have 3 different outcomes that you can choose. The first outcome is keeping Shangri era on field just like the 1-card combo. Since we have our field spell up, we can use its effect to destroy a card on the field if Shangri era trigger its effect, and we can keep Birth on hand for follow-up next turn in case our board broken. The second outcome. Since this is a best-of-1 game, gathering intel on what your opponent's playing is important. This requires deck knowledge of other decks that you don't play. Identifying what decks your opponent's playing could help prepare or changing your plan in the middle of combo. Instead of banishing Big Bang, you banish Tearlaments. It will still trigger Shangri, and then you can Xyz summon Ariseheart using Shangri. After that, activate Birth and summon Tearlaments to your field. Activate her effect and mill 3 card from opponent's deck, which will banish them instead. From that 3 card, you can get a glimpse of what your opponent's playing. And then Xyz both to another Shangri. If you know it's an OTK deck, during the standby phase, I suggest to summon Scare Cash. But if it's another Kashtira deck, it's better not to activate Shangri at all. I will explain about this in tips and tricks. The third outcome, you can play around Nibiru. Your 5th summon will happen after Big Bang summon the detached Kashtira. If there's a response, means your opponent has Nibiru. If they decide not to activate it, you can Xyz summon any non-number rank 7 monster and make Utopic Future. If they realize it, they should Nibiru right away. But if they didn't, Xyz summon to Utopic Draco and you are safe from Nibiru. Now activate Birth and summon Fenrir and Xyz summon to Ariseheart with it. Sadly, with these outcome, your Ariseheart will be offline. Unicorn plus Fenrir. Since we have Fenrir on our hand, instead of adding Theosis, you can add Birth. Same like before, you can go to either Intel or Anti-Nibiru, but since we don't have field spell, it's better not to keep Shangri on the field and make Utopic Draco instead. Unicorn plus Ariseheart or any hybrid. In here, if you had Ariseheart on your hand, add any hybrid instead. It's preferable Tear Cash, so you can get any intel as well. I remind you again, if got a response after this summon, that must be a Nibiru. If no, you can have 2 outcomes here, summoning UDF and get your Ariseheart online. Or you can go for saver approach against OTK deck. Since you have Big Bang on your hand, Big Bang on field has similar effects like Evenly Matched but only for monsters, but it requires an Xyz Kashtira on field, so by having more of them, the better your chances to activate this card. Unicorn plus Big Bang. This is the worst case scenario, since we only have one Big Bang on our deck, but if you decide to add 2 Big Bang, it's fine. It could jeopardy the consistency a bit. It's basically a 1-card combo with extra Big Bang on field, but if you notice I banished Birth with Ariseheart, the reason is, for next turn you only need to banish Theosis from deck or graveyard. Can grab that Birth and you will have a follow-up. Fenrir plus Birth. Do not Xyz to Shangri before activating Theosis. Both Shangri and Ariseheart are fire attribute. You won't be able to summon Ariseheart with Theosis if you target Shangri. Fenrir plus Theosis. Ariseheart plus Birth. Ariseheart plus Theosis. Since you got an intel on opponent's deck, if you notice it's an OTK deck, I suggest don't go Ariseheart in here. Instead, summon Shangri and summon Scare Cash next standby phase. Next are 3 cards combo. Unicorn plus Ash plus Birth or Theosis. Unicorn plus Fenrir plus Birth or Theosis. Unicorn plus Ariseheart or Hybrid plus Big Bang. Unicorn plus Ariseheart plus Hybrid. In here, if you don't start with Pathfinder, means you gotta banish the Big Bang again with Scare Cash. At this point, you could go for UDF line, but I have something better. Why don't we go for double Ariseheart and double the banish? Here is what you can expect with this board. Uni plus any level 7 plus birth. For this combo, if you bring Goliath Tech, you can do this combo. But if you bring Tomahawk, Apollousa, and 2 other generic Link 2 monster, you can summon Apollousa as early as possible before you start Kashtira combo. Fenrir plus Birth plus Any level 7. Fenrir plus Theosis plus Any level 7. At this point, I remind you again, if there's a response on this summon, make UDF ASAP. In here, if you have the hybrid just like mine, special summon it by banishing Theosis, and you will grab Big Bang later on. But instead, if you open with another original level 7 Kashtira, you must normal summon it with Birth. Ariseheart plus Birth plus Theosis. Ariseheart or Hybrid plus Fenrir plus 1 dead Kashtira card on your hand. If you were under Max C and you have a 1-card combo, you can go for this 3 to 4 special summon combo, but it's kinda risky. If you add Ogre in your deck, here's some combo you can do. That's all the combo that I can provide. Here are some tips and tricks. It's not a lot, but better than nothing. Shangri era. You know that Ariseheart can Xe summon using 1 Kashtira on the field. If a Shangri era on the field, whether it's yours or opponent's one, activate its effects. And since Fenrir is really popular to be added into other decks, people tend to bring 1 Ariseheart in their extra deck. They can just summon a Fenrir, summon Ariseheart, attack and make Zeus, and you will cry. So intel is important. If you know your opponents also play pure cash, do not activate Shangri on standby phase. But if you don't have any intel, make sure to have Ariseheart with 3 materials, or at least a monster negate like UDF. Ariseheart. Ariseheart attaching effect is a mandatory effects, means people who have triple tactic talent on their hand can abuse it by activating something and let a card banished, so they can activate triple tactic and steal your Ariseheart. I have no way to counter this, but if it's happen, you can always banish your own Ariseheart, or else you could get OTK. Big Bang. Its on-field effects can be activated even though you don't control a Kashtira Xyz monster, so grabbing this card can be handy sometimes. Theosis. There is a flaw in this card effect that can be abused by opponents, since this card is targeting our own monster, and require the information of that targeted, our opponents can just chain a card and remove that target, and Theosis will simply whiff the effects. Be careful on using it. Make sure it's the last card you want to keep when doing the combo under any disruption. Preparation. This card is not a bad idea. If you decide to bring Ogre, I suggest bring this card as well. It can snipe 1 card from opponent's hand, and also special summon Ariseheart if it's banished from field. Dimension Shifter. Pretty handy hand traps. Make sure to activate as early as you can before do any combo, because it requires an empty graveyard to activate. Triple Tactic Thrust. It can be used to search Theosis in case your opponents Ash Blossom your unicorn, but sadly you can only add it if your opponents control a monster. So if you think more talent is better than Thrust, go ahead, but I have a bad experience with 2 talent in my deck list. That's all for it. If you like it, please leave a like, subscribe and share it. See you next time.